Hello everyone. So I just finished watching the shareholder meeting and I made notes while I was watching the event, and I'll share those with you. Just highlighted what I thought was the important notes. So first was the voting results, which is not official yet, but they did say that JB Strawbell will make the board. And before the voting, actually, there was some comments about cobalt use. So when Elon came on, he mentioned that the cobalt that's used in the batteries for Tesla's vehicles is a very small amount. And he said that if you're concerned about cobalt use, you should be more concerned with cell phone producers, because there's way more cobalt in the batteries for your cell phone. He didn't give any numbers, but he made it seem like there's way more cobalt used in cell phones than there is in electric vehicles. He also made it seem like Tesla does a good job of tracking where their materials come from, and he said he was willing to put a camera up in the mine, and if he sees a child working in there, then they'll find a new source for the cobalt. And then he kind of just went over the master plan again and highlighted some points. And he mentioned that there's been no rebuttals put forward by any third parties saying like, oh, these numbers are way off, Tesla's being dishonest here. He said for the most part, people are confirming that their numbers look pretty good. And then he mentioned that Elon mentioned about the engineers, a huge plus for Tesla. The number 1 and 2 place that engineers want to go and work for is Tesla and SpaceX. And he basically said, if you get the best engineers, you get the best results. And yeah, I believe that he's correct, and I do believe that Tesla has the best engineers, some of the best engineers in the world, if not a good portion of the best engineers in the world. And engineers make things work, and without them, the world would be a much different place. So thank you, engineers, and keep up the good work, Tesla engineers. And then he highlighted the 12 volt to 48 volt change, and how making this change, the vehicles will have 1/4 of the copper usage. And I do believe the Cybertruck is going to be 48 volt architecture. And Elon said that when he drives his Tesla, he goes many days driving on FSD beta without any interventions. He's saying it's getting very good. And he said FSD will be much safer than a human. And he also reiterated it'll be the biggest asset value increase in history. And he feels it's very underappreciated in the market and by people in general. And he's probably correct, as many people don't even think it's going to be solved. So how could they put a high value on something that they don't even think is going to be solved? But he reiterated that it could 5x the value of a car based on the time that you use your car. And he said that on average, the average human car owner uses their car maybe 10 hours a week. But if the car becomes autonomous, that average could go up to 50 hours per week. So basically 5xing the value of your car, which would be a huge, when you think of all the cars on the road, that's a huge value increase. And he said Tesla is the largest EV maker in the world with the highest margins in the world. Manufacturing at scale with profitability is excruciating. So yeah, Elon has said many times, prototypes are easy, manufacturing is hard. And then so he kind of furthered that today, and he said manufacturing at scale with profitability is excruciating. So because we have, we're seeing some other automakers achieving some small scale in manufacturing, but they're not doing it profitably. So that's the next hard piece of the puzzle, is manufacturing at scale and also being profitable. So he he said, there's going to be a lot of rough waters, and we're going to see bankruptcies in the automotive market in the next 6 to 12 months. He said the next 12 months will be challenging economic conditions, but if you can hold on through those 12 months, shareholders of Tesla will do good long term. But he did also say if there's a dip, he might want to buy the dip over the next six to 12 months, which is kind of what I'm doing at the moment, is looking for opportunities to pick up some more shares. It does look like rough waters for the economy in general for the next at least 6 months. And then Elon highlighted the Tesla internal software team. He mentioned it's a kind of a hidden strength of Tesla. It's not, even me myself, somebody who's highly focused on Tesla, it's not something I've thought about a lot. This is all done in-house, whereas like traditional automotive manufacturers, they hire somebody to do their software work. So he said it's in every aspect of Tesla, the manufacturing, the app on your phone, the scheduling repairs, service, and there's just software all over Tesla, and it's a huge strength that Tesla has that doesn't get a lot of mention. And then he talked about safety. Tesla has the safest cars in the world, and this updates constantly over the air. So when there's an accident, if they learn something from that accident, they can send out an update and make your car safer by doing that update. And that's something I never really thought about, but it makes sense that Tesla's constantly learning from accidents and just getting better in general at safety, and they can push out those safety updates to existing vehicles that are already on the road. So your older Tesla will improve safety-wise and among other ways by over-the-air updates. And he mentioned another little known fact, but I knew about this, the cabin overheat protection. So I knew that my Model S would not let the cabin go over 40 degrees Celsius, even if nobody's in it. But he mentioned, well, because of that, no pet or baby has ever died in a Tesla because of the cabin overheat protection. So it's interesting fact. That's a good plus for Tesla as far as safety goes. And then he mentioned the European NCAP scores were the highest scores ever that European NCAP safety regulators have ever seen, and they still want to improve on that. They had a 98% score on the S and the 3, I believe. So yeah, Tesla's safest vehicle. Tesla's highly focused on safety for sure. And then I talked about the Megapack growing faster than automotive. So we're already seeing this. The energy side of the business, selling the Megapacks, is starting to grow faster than the automotive side of the business is growing, and it's growing exponentially. And he sees a future, I don't know, 5-10 years down the line when they could be selling 500 gigawatt hours per year. They just have 2 factories right now that are capable of producing 80 gigawatt hours once fully ramped. So 500 gigawatt hours is, a big step above that. So lots of room to grow on the energy side of the business. And then he talked about choke points, which he only mentioned one, which is lithium refining. But they have the Corpus Christi groundbreaking ceremony that just happened, so they're going to have their own facility where they can increase the amount of lithium refining in the world. So that'll address that. And there was a question later on in the Q&A where the guy kind of hinted like, well, mining might be the issue, but Elon came back and said, no, like miners are not going to mine more lithium than can be refined, which makes sense. Like, you can't just keep shoving lithium to the refiner, and if they can't refine it, it's just a waste. So they'll only supply them with as much as they can handle. So if you can increase, Elon's saying that's the bottleneck, is the refining. There's plenty to be mined, But at the moment, miners are only supplying what the refiner can handle. So we need to increase what the refiners can handle, and then they can increase the mining. There's no shortage of lithium, and we just need to be able to refine it. Then I talked about the Cybertruck, and Elon said it's very hard to make. It's with these new manufacturing techniques. The Cybertruck is very unique. We've never seen anything like it, and he's basically, to me, he's saying, don't expect it to come flying off the line. There's going to be hiccups for sure. Nothing's been done like this before, but he said it's going to be extremely difficult to get this going. Basically, reach full-scale production on the Cybertruck. But he said the Cybertruck will be better than expectations, and he said he's going to drive a Cybertruck once they're being produced. I think he drives a Model S right now. Then they talked about the next gen vehicles, which, he said there's 2 new products currently being worked on, but he wouldn't share much details on that. But he said, we're working on 2 products. My guess would be a small compact car and possibly a van, but he didn't go into details other than he said we're working on 2 products. Those 2 products combined could result in 5 million units per year of sales once they make those. And then they started talking about the robots, and they had a video, which let's check out the video. So pretty cool, and different looking robots than what we've seen in the past. They seem shorter and smaller. But so Elon said the actuators and the motors and all that used in those robots, it's all done by Tesla. They tried to get off-the-shelf components, and they couldn't find any, so they had to design everything for the robot. And he mentioned the FSD software is transferable to the robots. So what they're learning with the cars, that software will help develop the software for the robots. Basically, the car is a robot that's moving through the real world environment. So you could take that software and use it to get a humanoid robot to move through the environment as well. So it's got the same computer as the car. The demand, he said, is massive for a humanoid robot. And he said Elon said in the long term, Tesla's value may largely be due to the Optimus bot. Basically, it said he's saying like the opportunity there is massive, and he's saying he said it could potentially be 20 billion robots could be what's needed in the future. Basically double the amount of humans. It could be the case, which I could see that if they become so useful that you can have a fleet of robots, and you say, oh, go build me a house, robots, and they go build you a house. I think that's a 10, 20 year, maybe 30 year kind of horizon. And then Elon said he's going to devote a lot. He can now devote less time to Twitter with the announcement that Linda Yaccarino is going to take over as CEO of Twitter. And he also said he has no plans to leave Tesla as CEO anytime soon. He wants to be in charge to see how AI gets developed, which is part of what Tesla is working on with full self-driving and robots. He thinks that's important, that he stays in the CEO position to oversee that. Then they talked about long-term financing for cars, and he said it's all through banks. So unfortunately, it's going to be tricky, he said, because banks are in a lot of trouble right now, and making auto loans is not a high priority for them because their survival is in question at the moment, at least in the States. So they're not too concerned about, making auto loans. He said that Tesla has maybe $100 billion US dollars worth of auto loans per year, but it comes from banks. Tesla's restricted on what they can offer because it's not through Tesla, it's through banks. And he mentioned there was somebody asked a question, and he said, I think it was from Meet Kevin. He has a YouTube channel, and he asked about advertising, saying like, the Teslas are so safe, and there's a lot of these things people don't know about. So maybe it would be beneficial to do some advertising to teach people about the benefits of Tesla. And Elon said, okay, we'll try a little advertising and see how it goes. So I guess we're going to get some Tesla ads in the near future. Then there was another question about games in the car. I haven't seen like the latest version of a Tesla, but my understanding is the gaming in a new Tesla is especially a Model S or X with the screen in the back as well. It's at a pretty high level. But Elon said we're not going to focus too much on games until we solve full self-driving. And then once full self-driving is solved and a human doesn't have to drive anymore, then we're going to focus more on entertainment in the car, which makes sense. Because at the moment, you can only play games when you're parked or at a supercharger. You can't be driving and playing games, which makes sense. So it makes sense to pay more attention to gaming and entertainment in the car once they solve full self-driving. Another question was asked about the Roadster, and it seems like the Roadster is not a high priority. But he did say Roadster design will be complete this year, and hopefully they'll start production next year of the Roadster. Which I understand, like it's a toy for rich people basically, but it'll be cool for sure. And he mentioned the SpaceX package, but it's not a high priority. And then there was a question asked about the Cybertruck and how much they produce per year, and Elon said probably $250,000 per year once they reach scale production. But he said it could be as much as $500,000, and it depends on demand. If people want a lot, they'll make a lot, which makes sense. But he did mention that cost of production might be tough. So he's clearly concerned about how hard the production of the Cybertruck is going to be, and also the cost. Because if it's really hard, then it's going to be tricky to do it at a low cost. And then the last question I made a note on was about the price changes. I think this was from Gary Black, who asked this question. And Elon said the reason Tesla gets so much attention with their price changes is because it's so obvious. You go on the website, you see the price, and the price is the price. However, the old model with traditional manufacturers like GM and Ford, BMW, Mercedes, what have you, the price changes a lot, but there's a third party that you have to go in and haggle with. It's just it's muddy. It muddies the waters of like what's actually happening with the pricing. So it's less obvious what's happening there with the old model. But with Tesla, you see exactly what they're asking. Anyone can go on the website and see how much they want in their region for the car at that moment. And because of that, it gets a lot of attention. And Tesla catches a lot of flack over it. So those were the notes that I made on Tesla's shareholder meeting. I guess my thoughts, like, yeah, he kind of just reiterated the master plan, like a lot of the stuff of the master plan part 3 that I already knew. The new things for me is Tesla agreed, or Elon agreed that they would do some advertising. So that'll be interesting. His comments on the Cybertruck production makes me a little concerned, that because he's concerned about how hard it's going to be and the cost. But I guess it makes sense. It's a whole new way of designing a vehicle, so he's not sure exactly how it's going to go. They haven't got to full-scale production yet, so that's the next challenge. They're going to learn as they go. Yeah, makes me excited to be a shareholder. There's so much exciting stuff, and Elon confirmed, like, if you plan to hold for the long term, you'll do well, but be prepared for a rough next 6 to 12 months. So, but yeah, I plan to hold long term, so I think I'll do all right. So I guess I'll leave it there for now. That's my notes and my thoughts on the shareholder meeting for 2023. My name's Evan Bertrand. This is the Evergreen channel. Give the video a like if you liked it. Subscribe by clicking on the wheel in the bottom right. And thanks for watching.